Narcissist. Yeah, we're talking about narcissists. Yup. Like, you'll compliment a bitch, right? And she looks you up and down for complimenting her. Like, how about I fucking punch you in your mouth? I've dealt with a few of those, okay? Men, my father, friends, damn shit, even myself. Now, I'm not a narcissist. I was narcissistic. But duh, I was fucking raised by one. That was the qualities that I only knew. So, sorry. But let me tell you one thing that a narcissist will do that might be the best fucking thing out of everything I'm about to display is they mirror your motherfucking flaws. But don't let that get over your head, because a lot of people, when it comes to narcissists, they are the victim. Abso-fucking-lutely. You are a victim, okay? And you may have even experienced psychosis. That's how deep it was, okay? But what I do want to tell you this is that you're not meant to be a victim forever, because if you stay in that victim mentality, you will find yourself attracting narcissists every fucking where, and that's going to be the problem. And you're never going to get out of this cycle, because that's what it is. It's a loop. You remember when I said the devil? Well, the devil is just a cycle. The devil is the loop. Okay? The devil's not this red figure. No, the devil is a cycle. The devil is a loop. And the devil keeps you away from your truth. Okay? That is the devil in the way that I described it for my life. So I'm going to tell you what a narcissist is. And I'm going to tell you what I went through with a narcissist, how it fucked me up, and I'm going to tell you how it actually fucked me up for the goodest. Okay, it fucked me up at first, but then what happened was, what the enemy did to steal, kill, and destroy actually builds me the fuck up. And I'm about to tell you how to build yourself back up after dealing with a narcissist. So let's talk about a narcissist. A narcissist have motives, deep motives. Motives that seems very, very dark at first, but it's very strategic. They know exactly what they're doing. They have a game plan, and that's why I find it so funny about narcissists. They use their power to manipulate instead of using their power to create whatever they want, instead of manipulating people to getting what they want. But anyways, narcissist people, they have a strategic motive that's been planned for decades, and they use the same rhetoric for every single person, every single woman, every single man. It doesn't change, because again, it's a cycle. It's a cycle, and the truth is, if you're not paying attention to the cycle, then bitch, you will be fucked up, married to a narcissist, have kids by a narcissist, and now your kids are dealing with the consequences of you marrying a narcissist. Now you even raised one that couldn't get out the loop either, so now they're a full-blown narcissist before they got to that point of healing, like myself. Okay, I had narcissistic selfish traits, I had strategic motives, but I got out of the loop. I learned that, wait, this isn't me, this is not me, this is what I had to be to protect myself. I don't gotta protect myself for shit, because I am the creator of my own reality, and I don't have to be around a bunch of devils like myself. I don't have to do that. So I'm going to change. I'm going to heal. I'm going to face the consequences to my actions. I'm going to take accountability and change. And that's what a lot of narcissistic people do not do, because they don't think that they have power, because they are the most insecure people that you have ever met. Narcissistic people are the most, narcissist is the most insecure people that you would ever meet. They are very insecure. They hate themselves to their core. So much to the point that they had to learn how to have some sort of power so you wouldn't believe that they were powerless. And this is why they go to manipulation, because manipulation is an easy form of control, an easy form of power, and that's what narcissist people love. They want to feel powerful because every single day of their lives they feel powerless. They look in the mirror, they fucking hate themselves. They look in the mirror, they fucking shame themselves for all the things that they've done in their lives. They know exactly what they're doing, but instead of getting well, they don't want to get well because that feeling of power, they don't feel like they can get that within. They don't feel like they can get that without without playing somebody else, without using somebody else to hurt, because they're hurt. Hurt people hurt people. So they spend every wakening day listening to their demons. They spend every wakening day soaping in their sorrows. So the best ways to get out of this sorrow, to get out of this pain, is to hurt other people so other people can feel as low as they are feeling daily. You wouldn't think that this person's insecure because they look good, they smell good, they got all the designer, their bodies fit, okay? Like, they are very presentable, but that's the game, okay? I'm gonna look good on the outside because that is what a lot of people are fooled by. A lot of people are fooled by the physical, but they don't pay attention to the spiritual, okay? They don't pay attention to the body language. They don't pay attention to the eyes. They don't pay attention to the way that someone speaks. But mainly, they don't pay attention to the spirit. They are wooed by the attractiveness. They are wooed by the materialism. They are wooed by the way that the person smells. They are wooed by the charisma, okay? Every narcissist has charisma. There's not one narcissist that you know that don't have charisma, because that charisma is the one that's going to pull you in, along with that scent, along with that outfit, along with the materialism and how they live life. So the physical looks good. They make sure that they look presentable, and even on social media, it looks like they're living that best motherfucking life. They could be living life in luxury. They could be traveling. They could be having all these girls that they show, or they could be having all these men. Whatever the fuck it is, the physical looks the best. And that's for a reason, bitch. Because if you're not in tune with the spirit, if you're not in tune with everything, you're gonna fall for that fucking trap. You're gonna fall for that presence. You're gonna fall for that physical. It's gonna be everything that you fall in love with. You're gonna fall in love with the potential. And that's the thing. They're putting on a show. They're putting on a facade. They're going to play into into the potential, because that's what they believe in. They believe into that little potential, but they don't really believe into it at the core, because they don't believe in healing. They don't believe in self-reflecting. They don't believe in admitting their wrongs. So they continue to play into that potential too, because they know that that potential is what's going to string you along enough to stay with them for decades, weeks, months, or even a week. As long as they get what they want from you, they're going to play this role that they'll fit into this narrative that they feel like they are, but they know that they're not, because they don't believe in their own power. So they portray this person that they're going to be, and you believe in that, and then you take the rest of that storyline and fill it up in your imagination, and you continue to follow up that potential, that storyline, and you keep believing that they're going to change, but in reality they know that they're not going to change. They just had to put that in the forefront so that you can be confused, so that you can stay stuck on this potential and stuck on them, because they need your validation, they need your attention, they need you to want them, they need you to like them, because that makes them feel powerful, because without your power they feel powerless. So more eyes on them, more security that they feel within. So since everything is fake, nothing is real, this is how psychosis is born. Because you'll be living in a reality that was never real, because the whole thing is fake. And that's what I want you guys to understand about a narcissist. They're not real people. They're very much physical people. And since things are more physical with them, it's easy to fall into the trap if you are also a physical person too. And I was a physical person. I cared about my looks. I cared about how people perceived me. I cared about materialism. I cared about wealth. And I'm not to say that like you shouldn't care about these things. You should, but it shouldn't be your identity. And that is what a narcissist's identity is in. the physical, what they have, what they look like, how people perceive them. So if you're like this as well, see, this is going to be where you guys connect. This is going to be where the mirroring comes in, because they already know people that are like them. They already scout people that are like them. They already pay attention to people that are like them, because they know who to scout out. They know who to invest their time in. And it's the people that pay attention to the physical, because they are powerless, just like the narcissist. Narcissists love powerless people, because powerless people means I can run game, I can thrive here, and I can sit here and steal their shine, steal their light, steal their worth, steal their identity, steal everything from them, because they are powerless. And when I say powerless, I'm not saying that you're weak, or maybe I am. I'm speaking for me. When I was taken aback by a narcissist, it was because I was insecure, I was powerless, I literally only cared about lust. And when you're lustful, oh, that's even worse, because once they have sex with you, okay, this is when you become attached, because that demon, okay, that both of y'all demons are combining to each other, and it just becomes addicting now, because it mirrors whatever chaos you've had in your life. And that's the thing about narcissists. But before I get to that point, narcissists, it was easy for me to get swayed by a narcissist because I was insecure, I was powerless, and I didn't really know this until the narcissist told me this, basically by the way that his actions was mirroring what I accepted, what I allowed. Okay, a person that was secure wouldn't allow this bullshit. Okay, a person that's secure wouldn't allow this bullshit, but a person that's insecure will allow bullshit. Okay, so that's when I knew I wasn't as secure, and I knew that I had some issues, and the issues were mommy and daddy issues. And this is what I say, the trauma bonding, and that's literally what narcissist is a narcissist relationship is trauma bonding. Whether if you guys are both narcissists, whether the narcissist and codependent comes together, you're trauma bonding. This is all off of trauma. The narcissist mirrored to me that I had mommy and daddy issues. I didn't think that I did. I didn't think that I had any problems, because I thought this was normal life. I thought this was normal living. And so I told you, like my last boyfriend, which was the enabler, which was the person that had a nice family, and just overall the way that I felt like family should be, how husband and wife should be, you know, I was like, okay, clearly this is not everybody's life. Clearly there is something a little wrong with me. But until you actually deal with somebody that's just like you in another form, but the toxic version of you, it's like, holy shit, there is something wrong with me. I am not normal. But it takes a long time to get there, because then you don't realize that the reason why you attracted this person is because of how you were treated when you were a child. You're not going to even realize that this person is a mimic of your mother and father as well, until you start to self-reflect, until you start really digging into your spirit, until you start digging in your ancestral background, until you start digging in. And if you don't dig in, you're going to think that you're the victim every time, and that's the problem, because when you think that you're the victim every time, this is when you keep attracting more people like this that keeps ruining your life. And yeah, you're the victim, but you play a role in your victimhood. And that was a hard pill to fucking swallow, when I found out that the narcissist was just mirroring things to me that I didn't know were within myself. And I get that, like, so many people are gonna get mad and say that, like, it's not my fault what happened to me. But the truth is, we tolerate a lot of bullshit. We tolerate so much that, yeah, we actually are the problem too, because you shouldn't be tolerating cheating, you shouldn't be tolerating abuse, and I don't care if it's verbal, I don't care if whatever abuse it is, we should not be tolerating it. But the reason why we tolerate this thing is because we were abused, we were thrown, we were punched, we watched our parents get punched up, we watched this stuff growing up, so we think this is normal, we think this is the way to be treated. So we stay in abusive situations because we never saw anyone left. We never saw anyone walk away. And this is not to say that, like, you know, to blame any domestic violence, but this is the this is the reason why we tolerate domestic violence. This is the reason why we tolerate abuse, is because we never seen anyone walk away. In fact, we seen them come back and keep going, make excuses, lie, all of this stuff to make us believe that this person is a good person. And in reality, they're really not. They're an abuser, they're a narcissist, they're evil, they're wrong, they cheated, they separated the family, they did so many things, but they're always praised. And since they're always praised, you like, no one ever told you this was bad, so you end up dating the same exact thing. You end up dating the same exact person as your first abuser, and it follows until you realize. And it's like, holy shit. And that's the thing about a narcissist. A narcissist knows energetically. They know. So that's why they pawn after certain people, because that certain people is in victimhood. That certain person is damaged. That certain person is insecure. They are a little bit weak. They are powerless. That's why they go to them and they make it worse. Because the more that they damage you, the more that you'll stay. Because they know that you're going to need their validation. They know that you're going to need them to feel wanted, to feel whole, to feel complete. Because you already don't feel that within yourself. And that's how a narcissist prey on their victims. That's how they prey on them. And then you end up getting married to one, and then you become the narcissist, because you had to protect your brain, had to literally block out the emotional abuse, the verbal abuse, the physical abuse. So since you are that blocked and disconnected, you're now picking up traits of a narcissist, and now you have kids. Then your kids are becoming a narcissist, or they're becoming a codependent, or they're the generational curse breaker who is standing up to you. And now that standing up to you is now making you feel some type of way, because this person was able to get out of the spiritual warfare, and that makes you feel some type of way, because a lot of narcissistic people, they like to use God. A lot of narcissists like to use Christianity. A lot of narcissists like to use religion to cope, to make them feel like this is a God ordained thing. This is Jesus Christ. But in reality, we know that it's not Jesus, because once you really connect to yourself, you know that Jesus would never tell you to sit in an abusive marriage getting smacked up across the room in front of your kids. Like, Jesus would never say that. God would never say that. I don't care what the Bible says. I'm telling you what the real truth is, because you're not bringing people closer to Jesus when you tolerate this type of behavior. You're actually pulling people away from Jesus, and you're actually doing the devil's work, if you want to use biblical terms. So my definition of narcissism nowadays is that narcissist people are here to mirror something to you. And I'm not going to be the type of person that tells you what everybody else tells you, because this is not a blame game. I'm not trying to, blame the victim, and I'm not trying to blame the narcissist. What I'm trying to tell you is that everything is a lesson. Everything is a teaching moment. And once we start seeing things as a teaching moment, instead of things are happening to me, bad things are happening to me, I want bad things to happen to this person, or we blame the person so much to the point that, we don't even get to self-reflect on the situation, because we are already just putting the blame on them. When you put the blame on somebody else, and when you put the blame on yourself, all you get is shame and guilt. All you get is more trauma, instead of honestly coming to realization what is being shown here. And the truth is, what's being shown here is you were abused as a child. You were abused, you were neglected, you were not treated with respect, you were not treated with love, you were loved on conditions, you had to perform for love, you had to show up as this person that you're not, you had to silence yourself, you had to be quiet, you couldn't speak up, you got hit, you got slapped. There were so many things that happened to you, where now as an adult, you don't do anything besides people please. You do what people tell you to do. You neglect yourself. You perform for love. You do everything that is against real unconditional love, which is doing what makes you happy, showing up for self. But we weren't taught how to show up for self. We were only taught how to show up for other people, because that's narcissistic people. You have to do what they say. You can't have your own word. You can't do your own thing. And if you did do your own thing, they'll find a way to try to make it their own thing. Like, they don't care. They want control over everything. And that's the thing. When you deal with someone that wants control over your entire life, this is where you feel powerless. This is where the insecurity comes from. Because when you did speak up, they tried to take that from you. When you did move out, they tried to take that from you. You know, they tried to have control over you to make you feel powerless. So of course you naturally feel powerless. This is a part of the narcissistic game. This is a part of the strategic, so you don't get out of the loop. And you cannot sit here and tell me that this is of God, okay? Because if this is of God, it wouldn't be a loop. It wouldn't be confusion. It wouldn't be sorrow. It wouldn't be pain. It wouldn't be abuse. It wouldn't be any of that, okay? God is love, and that's what I've learned, and that's the only way that I was even able to come to this term that, hey, I was getting abused, and you know, I accepted abuse from this man because I was always getting abused. But if I was to go tell that to my parents, they don't see it that way. They don't see it that way. That's not how they see it. Because again, narcissist people, they don't have any accountability. Because again, being in that deluded reality is way easier than to be in the real world, which is, hey, you fucked me over, you hurt my feelings, you neglected me, you abused me, you put trauma in my life, you're the reason why I actually suffer in relationships, and so forth. That is a painful realization, and a lot of people don't want to come to terms with that, and a lot of people will rather avoid that than to fix it by telling the truth and honestly becoming aware of the fact that, yeah, I did start this curse, and it can end with me by having accountability. And that's why I said it starts with me, and it will fucking end with me too, if so be it. Like, I don't care. Like, it starts with me. I'm gonna be accountable. I'm not gonna be a narcissist. I'm gonna literally be accountable of my actions and be accountable of the things that I do in my life, because I cannot repeat this curse. My kids cannot tell me that I hurt them, because it's never gonna happen. My kids are going to be seen, heard, loved unconditionally. They're going to be protected by me and my future husband. They're never gonna ever feel any type of pain that I felt. They're never gonna have to go through the world alone. They're never gonna have to do any of that, because I'm being accountable today. And this is why I'm making these types of videos, because everybody is showing us what we allow, what we accept. Yeah, you are a victim, but you do not have to tolerate this narcissist abuse anymore. And the best way to do it is by not blaming them, by kind of detaching from all of it. And that's the thing. This narcissist that mirrored everything to me, when I got my power back, was when I no longer was blaming him, and I came to realization that I needed this to become the woman that I am right now. This man showed me that I have mommy and daddy's issues. Thank you for that. I appreciate you for that. This man showed me that I was insecure. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. This man showed me that I accepted the bare minimum. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. This man also showed me that I was in survival mode. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. This man also showed me that I had to perform for love. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. This man also showed me that I was only attracted to the physical aspect of a person. So what they have, their looks, and not the spirit, okay? Thank you for that. I appreciate that. This man also showed me that I was not connected to myself at all. I was only connected to the physical aspect of myself. So my career, the money I had, the looks, the apartments. And when you are kind of building connection off of, you know, the things that you have, this is where a lot of the connections become false, because only people will come into your life for the things that you have. So when you don't have those things anymore, people start to fall away. And once I lost everything, I didn't have any fucking friends, because my friends was built off of my status. My friends was built off of the money I had. My friends was built off of the apartment that I had, the car, all of that. So when I didn't have those things anymore, those people had no reason to really talk to me anymore, so they didn't. And yeah, So he taught me that, like, I shouldn't build my whole identity based off of the things that I have. And thank you for that. When you start to see that even the bad can turn to something good, and that every negative has a positive to it, that's when you're like, holy shit, this person was only here to show me the damage that was done and the things that I can fix and the things that I no longer have to do. And that's what I believe that narcissistic people are. I believe that they are here to show us the actual embodiment of living in the dark and being someone that you're not, because you were born into darkness. You are identifying with darkness. You are identifying with survival. You are identifying with negativity. You are identifying with performing for love. This is your identification because you were taught that you were not worthy unless you did something. You were under control. You were under a spell. And this spell was created by your parents, by the way that they treated you, by the way that they allowed themselves to be treated in a relationship. You were identifying with that truth. That was your truth, but that was never the truth that God had created for you when you were born. When you were born, you had a purpose. And you still have that purpose. But you get lost with the confusion of the enemy of all the deception of lies, which is you're not worthy. You're not lovable. You have to do this. You have to do this. You have to do this to receive this. You have to do that to do that. And that's not what it's about. It was never about that. It was about love from the beginning. But since we were all born into a loveless life, we never had to experience that. Instead, we try to find our own definition through others, and all people do is lead us back to ourselves. And that's exactly what that narcissist did. So I can sit up in here and bash him, talk shit about him, and talk shit about the things that he done, which I would talk a little bit about, because certain things that he done really did fucking hurt me and really like helped me literally, like the character development, please, and the psychosis, please. But it's not about bashing him. It's about the lesson that he gave me in life. The way that I will never ever attract a narcissist again, friend, lover, anything. Like, it just won't happen because I see through it now. I'm more a spiritual girl than a physical, so I don't give a fuck what it looks like on the outside, bitch. What is going on in the inside? And most of the time, the inside is burnt up, hell, not nice, insecure, mean, devil energy. And then you just, hey, this is not who I am anymore. I don't have to entertain this. I know who I am, and it was nice to meet you, but no thanks. But since we're talking about it, let's talk about certain things that the narcissist did that kept me in a loop, that hurt my fucking feelings, that made me feel worthless, that made me fall deep into psychosis, as well as becoming crazy and insecure. And yeah, okay, so the first thing that he did was literally told me that he was a bad guy. So like I said in my last few episodes ago, on episode 4, I was saying how people tell you who they are, listen to them the first time. Don't try to figure it out your fucking self. What people do is they tell you the truth flat out so that you think that it's a lie just because it sounds so real, but in reality it's fucking real. Just like when someone says, I don't think that you should mess with him. I don't think you should talk to him. It makes you want to talk to him more, because why are you telling me what I can and cannot do? So when somebody tells you that they're a bad guy, now you're trying to really understand, is this person really a bad guy? Let's find out, you know? And same for a good guy. When guy says, I'm a really good guy, you know, you're like, is this person really a good guy? Let me find out. You know, when people don't try to let you know who they are in the beginning, this is when you get to really build a connection, and off of really getting to know each other, because nobody's throwing what's the word? No one's really throwing like deception in your face. And when I say deception, it is deception, because let me tell you the truth so you think that is not the truth, because you barely know me yet. So you're gonna be curious to get to know me for real. So I'm gonna tell you straight up about me, but you're not gonna believe it because you just met me, and you're gonna want to get to know me to really find out if I'm a bad person. So I'm gonna let you know all about myself now, and that's the manipulation part about it. Because the truth, the real shit is, a person that wants you to tell you every single thing is doing this to run game. Okay, I learned that too. A man that wants to talk to you about your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, okay, it's because they want to know what happened in that relationship. In reality, you don't need to talk about your motherfucking relationship. And the second that somebody wants to talk about my ex-boyfriend is when I start to, you know, side eye you, because why are we talking about my ex when I'm on a date with you? Or why are we talking about my ex when I'm talking to you? That has nothing to do with you, babes. So yeah, that's the type of stuff that I consider are red flags. And when he told me that he was a bad guy, I was like, yep, I want to dive into that. So that's the first thing. The other thing that he would say is that I don't want a wife, I don't want a girlfriend, but then would treat me like I was his girlfriend. So he would be fucking me, taking me out on dates, all this shit, but telling me that I'll never be his girlfriend. Okay, that's another thing. To have you wanting more, because they're starting to be consistent, and then you'll start to get this feeling about them, and then they start distancing themselves slowly. This is when the dates will stop. This is when it will just become hookups and hookups only. But since you're already addicted to the dick, because I was addicted to the dick, okay, it was toxic. And yeah, so I ended up being just a background person, and was okay with being a background person, because as long as I was able to get this man because he's acting like he's exclusive, da 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 da, you know, that was my stupid part and that was my stupid behalf. But that's exactly the difference with a woman versus a man. A man is okay, so you have more feelings versus the man who doesn't have that much feelings. But I believe that this man actually had genuine feelings for me. He just didn't really know how to display that, because this man was obsessed with me for years after this. But again, that's what a narcissist do, because it's all about control in the end. And that's how he was getting his control, through sex and through neglecting me and slowly distancing himself. I don't really remember everything, because I just, trauma, like, you'll forget trauma because it's so traumatizing. You'll fucking forget. But thing that really stuck with me is him trying to talk to my friends. He sent a dick pic to my best friend, and my best friend showed me, and I realized at that moment that was not my best friend. She actually hated my ass, and I think she really hated me because I was getting all these guys that were cute. And yeah, I just think she wanted to see if she can get him, and that's why she decided to show me his dick pic, because I didn't tell anybody that we were talking, because we were like work fuck buddies, and it was like, to me, I didn't want anyone in my business. So I really did really good with keep my composure, was not acting crazy, and like when he was talking to all these girls in front of my face to rub it in my face, like he would do that on purpose as well. I did really good with keeping my composure. But yeah, that one really hurt so fucking much, because she knew the entire time. She knew that we was fucking, that we was talking, that we was dealing with each other, but she still decided to show me his dick, and he still decided to send his dick to my best friend. So yeah, that was fucking hard, and I had to act like that didn't hurt me at all. But that shit hurt so fucking bad. That shit hurt so fucking bad. Like, how embarrassing is that? How embarrassing is it when the person you thought didn't know that y'all was a thing, whole time they knew y'all was a thing, and that person's over here sending dick pics, embarrassing you? That shit was so embarrassing. That shit had me fucking sick. I was so disgusted. Like, I was pissed the fuck off. Trust and believe that he got under my skin with that one. Like, that one pissed me off. And then he would say things like, oh yeah, I can go get your friend. Like, just like, again, trying to have me compete with two different girls, okay? When that one didn't work, then he got a girlfriend that was fucking a teenager. Have us in competition again, and it didn't fucking work, because again, I knew my worth to an extent. I knew that I was better than this bullshit, but the girls will always end up trying to argue with me and fight with me. And it was like, girl, like, that's your fucking man. So if he's trying to sit here and be in my face, then get your man, because I have nothing to do with that, you know? Like, I fell the fuck back. So if he's still feeling me, then like, I don't know what to say about that. But I'm not trying to take your man. I'm not in his fucking face. I literally removed myself the second that he said he had a girlfriend. I removed myself. I didn't have sex with him. All of that, because I respect women more than I respect men like that, okay? And even though I was pissed the fuck off and I talked shit about the girl, I was not gonna fuck her man again, because why the fuck would I? Why the fuck would I? I'm not gonna lie, what I did do was fucked one of the guys he told me not to fuck, because they all went to school together, so they were kind of friends-ish, but not really friends. And the guy wanted me, and this is how karma works, babes. One of the guys wanted me so motherfucking bad, right in his face with it. By the way, I worked at the strip club, so you can have an idea. Right in his face with it. His old friend wanted me, and he took me to the side and he said, you better not fuck him, you better not talk to him. At the end of the day, I hit it first. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. And I fucked the guy a couple of times, but then I caught something, so I learned my lesson then and there, and then I became celibate and didn't have sex until I found the love of my life, the one and only, the only man that would have my body for the rest of my life. But yeah, the point is, tit for tat, don't do it, okay? If he was fucking other bitches, let him fuck other bitches. You don't go fuck guys just because he's fucking other women. Let him fuck the other women. Don't play for tit for tat, because God's gonna show your ass. And God showed my ass. God showed my ass. He showed my ass every time. And that's how I knew that I was a generational curse breaker, because I couldn't sit here and hook up with multiple men without a lesson being learned, bitch. I fucked that guy 3 times and caught something. And I only did it to spite him. I only did it because he told me not to. Again, when somebody tells you, hey, don't fucking do that, you're gonna do it. That's the mind game of it all. It happened to me fucking twice. Also, the guy that I was dealing with, okay, that he told me not to have sex with, his ex-girlfriend was crazy, talking shit about me all over social media, smeared blood on my car because I was fucking her ex-boyfriend. And I was cute doing it. So all of that drama came because I was trying to spite this man, because he sent, wait, you know what? I think he sent the picture to my friend after I had sex with a guy. But I think I think that did happen. I think he was trying to get back at me. But the reason why I had sex with a guy anyway was because he told me not to. And he didn't want to make me his girlfriend, so why are you telling me what to do? And that's how I felt. And it was always tit for tat with us. Like, we were extremely toxic. We were extremely toxic. And yeah, all he did was brought the worst out of me. The worst. And that's when I knew I was the fucking devil too. And that's why I said I can't really talk shit, because I did things to hurt him too, and he did things to hurt me. But yeah, he definitely sent that pic after I slept with his friend. But that was the demons in me. Alright? That was the demons in me. People are here to show you the demons in yourself, and that's literally it. And yeah, he showed me that I had demons, because honestly, the true demons is insecurity. The true demons is self-neglect, you know, performing for love, being in a cycle of deception, being in a cycle of betrayal, you know, doing things that are not your character, you know, being reactive, being angry, being jealous. This is all devil energy, you know. So even though you may not be the devil per se, because you're not going out your way to manipulate people, you're not going out your way to control people, but you have devil tendencies, and this is why you were able to attract the devil that made shit worse, that actually made you become more of a devil, because That is how it works. If you attract a narcissist person, right, and you're still a nice person, but you just perform for love, you're insecure, you're a little bit powerless, you're a little bit weak, this person goes out their way to bring that darkness out of you, so you can now repeat that cycle of that person and go hurt somebody else, because that's how it all works. That is the cycle. Okay, this person treats you like shit, cheats on you, do whatever they did. Now you're fucking bitter. Now you're hurt. Now you're in pain. You're not feeling your emotions. Now you're dealing with somebody else, and you just did that same energy to them, because that happened to my ex-boyfriend. I treated him like shit because that man came into my life. I left him because I wanted to try him, and that was fucked up. I left a really good man for the thrill of the chaos, because I was used to chaos. I wasn't used to that peaceful, calm lifestyle. So what did I do? I hurt the one person that was there for me because I wanted to try the chaos. That's why I got humbled for 4 fucking years after that. Just know, if you ever see this, I call him Tom. If you ever see this, Tom, just know that I got my motherfucking karma for treating you like shit. Best believe I got that karma, and that I hope that you find a wonderful woman, because you deserve that. Like, you deserve a good woman, because you are a good man. You definitely are. So this is just to say that, yeah, fuck the narcissist. Just kidding. It's not fuck the narcissist. It's not fuck anybody, because I love everybody. I learned to love everybody unconditional, even the most wickedest evil person, because this helps me exist better in the world. Because at the end of the day, yeah, this person treated me like shit. They treated me really bad, poorly. I still became a better person from it, and I can never be mad at that. They mirrored the darkness. I overcame the darkness, now able to be a light in the world and help other people overcome darkness. And I'll never regret a thing that happened to me. I will never regret anything that I ever did. I will never regret being a devious person. I will never regret being, deceitful. I will never regret being a devil, ever. Ever. I will never regret that shit. Like, I don't care. It happened. I can't change what happened. All I can do is accept and become better. And since I am now okay with the things that I've done, my demons don't fuck with me anymore. They don't argue with me. They don't come out. They're just existing in me, because that is a part of me. Like, I'm not against it. So the demons is not coming out and showing me, hey, bitch, why are you against me and attacking me in my sleep? The demons are well put, and they come out when I feel activated. And when I feel activated, I'm able to now breathe in and breathe out and come to realization what this trigger comes from, and keep them back to sleeping. And that's really all it is. Like, nothing is happening to hurt you and to go against you. It is happening to help you become aware of the conditioning that you were raised in. And most of the conditionings was darkness. As a retired crash out, his friends are not safe.